Hello, everybody.
Hey.
You're back for another scintillating episode.
Ooh, we're going to scintillate you guys today.
Oh, man, are we going to come in hot today? You're back on another scintillating episode of the Chocolate Bros Chocolate Review Show. You're here with
Yes.
Adam and Brian. We're the Chocolate Bros.
We're the Chocolate Bros.
We're brothers.
Yeah.
We own a chocolate business.
We got the same mom, but different dads. We're bros.
Yeah, half bros, but really full bros.
But really full bros. But I'm older. I'm 15 years older.
He's 15
so-
years older.
Yeah,
although
absolutely. So
lately, some people have thought that I'm older than you.
Yeah, well,
which
that's
hurts,
you're
which
an-
stings, man.
You have an old man's aspect.
Some people will say, "Oh yeah, well you're an old soul," but your
No,
aspect means face. So you're just telling me, yeah, you've got the face of an old man.
I'm seeing, as I'm looking in the camera, though, my gray beard is looking pretty gray today.
Yeah,
so
but what's happened to
might have
me
trim.
because of being an entrepreneur and having kids and stuff, my hair's on the side has gotten gray really.
So it's
really
because
early.
you own a business and have kids?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, that ages you, dude. All right, whatever.
Okay.
Man. Anyhow, you're here with Brian and Adam. From
Yeah,
the,
we are.
From
We
the
are
chocolate.
Brian and Adam.
Yeah, we own Fortunato Chocolate.
We do.
If you want to try our chocolate,
Yes.
and see if we really have the goods and if we have the credibility to be two people judging other
Test
people's
us.
chocolates,
Try it and test us.
Try our chocolates and
Yes.
and then you can decide if you think that you should follow our suggestions on trying other people's chocolates as well.
Yeah, try
so,
it.
So what we're doing here? Did we
Oh,
already
wait, hold on.
Did we give the website? Go ahead.
www.fortunatochocolate.com. We also have a retail store in Issaquah, Washington, near Seattle. And if you're watching this and you're liking it and you're digging our vibe and you think this banter is scintillating, by all means, smash like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Rub like powder into your navel, whatever it is that you do to express the fact that you support what we're doing. We appreciate it. We want to say thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take it back over because Brian's going a little off the rails here.
I
with the
got
li-
off the rail because I appreciate him so much, Adam. If you don't appreciate him, that's fine, but I do.
I don't know about rubbing like powder in their navels, dude. I don't even know.
Hey, man.
That whole thing is crazy. First,
Hey, man.
there's no such thing as like powder. But if there were, why would you rub it in your navel?
I mean, isn't that how you use it?
All right, so the whole thing is off the rails. Today we are going to be reviewing this Ghirardelli Intense Dark Raspberry Bar. Now, in general, we are attempting to review bars that are widely accessible with the goal of helping you, especially during the summer months, because we hope when it's not hot, you'll order from our website.
Yeah, we'd like that.
Yeah, but especially during the summer months, and maybe just if you have a Jonesin for dark chocolate and ours hasn't arrived in the mail yet, and you need something to bridge the gap, we're hoping to be able to point you to the good chocolates that are out there that are widely available.
And one other note, if you have ordered ours and it hasn't arrived yet, I answer the inbound email line, and I'm just here to let you know that we don't personally deliver it. We contract with UPS.
Yeah.
We can't control it once they pick it up from our fulfillment place. So, I mean, I don't really have any way to
We're doing the
touch
best we
the line.
can.
We're doing the best
We're
we can.
doing the best
But I'll
we can.
answer your email
We will-
kindly because I appreciate your business.
And we will answer the email promptly.
That's right.
Yes. All right. So on a previous
Show.
on a
Yeah.
previous episode, we already did review a Ghirardelli 72% Intense Dark.
And quite liked it.
And we liked it.
Yes.
We gave it a good review.
Yeah.
And we have also reviewed a Lindt. Did they call that? No, it was the Lindt Intense Orange.
It was orange with
Dark.
almond slivers.
It was orange with almond slivers, and they also called it a dark chocolate bar. And now we have this dark intense. It says intense dark raspberry, but why don't you go ahead and read the ingredients
Yeah,
to us?
so it
'Cause
said
we're
intense dark.
we're finding something out about these sort of industrially produced inclusion bars.
Right, so the Lindt called out 47% cacao solids, cocoa solids. This doesn't call a percentage. The first ingredient is cane sugar, and then unsweetened chocolate, cocoa butter, and then what they're calling raspberry bits. And you might look at this and think it's actual little bits of raspberry.
It's misleading though.
It is not. The raspberry bits are made of sugar, raspberry powder, fructose, and natural flavor. Now, my guess, because it says that it's made with raspberry bits with other natural flavor, the raspberry bits are a conglomeration of sugar and fructose with powdered raspberry and some kind of raspberry essence, oil of raspberry.
So to call
something
it
like that.
raspberry bits, in my opinion, is a little bit misleading, and also the picture on the front,
Yeah.
because what they really are sugar pellets with raspberry
Raspberry
flavoring.
flavored sugar pellet. But I
Yeah.
will say, if it has actual powder made from actual raspberries, that's a step up from just a purely chemical concoction.
Fair enough. But
Yeah.
now the overall point I want to make is based on the Lindt bar and based on this bar.
Because
and
the next ingredient is milk
fat. So the dark chocolate bar that we tasted by Ghirardelli that we liked was very simple ingredients. It was just basically cacao, cocoa butter, vanilla,
Tiny bit of lecithin
tiny bit of
is
lecithin,
yeah.
and cane sugar. But when you get into these inclusion bars, and we saw it with Lindt too, it may be labeled as intense dark, but when you actually taste it, it's a lot sweeter and it has many more ingredients that don't necessarily square with the idea that you're getting a dark
That's
chocolate
right,
bar.
which is really interesting because when we, for instance, make an inclusion bar with dark chocolate, we don't add it's just
we don't.
dark
It's
chocolate.
just
We
our
don't
dark
add-
chocolate with the
We
inclusions.
don't add milk fat, but these large industrial makers are adding milk fat to their
Which-
inclusion, even to dark inclusion bars.
And I just want to mention that as a public service announcement, big time public. I might take out some advertising space.
You're the Ralph Nader of chocolate.
Ralph Nader. Dude, I'm starting to look like Ralph Nader, man.
Timely reference.
Yeah. Dude, people are like, hey, you guys are brothers? Because you look like Ralph Nader. Wear your seatbelt,
You
people.
have Ralph Nader's annoying tendency of sticking your nose into other people's safety. Public service announcement. Isn't it self-serving, Adam? Isn't it really?
I've never thought anybody could tell me that I reminded them of Ralph Nader before. I'm gonna take that as a badge of honor. But one thing that is that you have to be careful of when you're buying these dark chocolate inclusion bars, you might be thinking you're getting a bar that's more of a dark chocolate than it actually is. And also, this leads me to believe that the people at Lindt and Ghirardelli know that these inclusion bars play to an entirely different audience.
So,
Yeah.
smell that and tell me what you think. By the way, I just opened it.
All I smell is the raspberry. I
But
don't smell any chocolate.
There's a difference
Yeah.
from the Lindt. When I opened the Lindt and I smelled it, it smelled like actual orange.
Ah, yes.
This
Pardon me.
smells like a mix of raspberry powder and citric acid or something, like a sour raspberry candy.
Yeah.
It has a definitely non-natural
And
raspberry
you
odor to
smell
it.
no chocolate.
No.
No, and this is similar to that Lindt bar too. You didn't smell very much chocolate, but when we ate the chocolate, it tasted like real oranges.
Yeah,
and it gave you a lingering flavor note that tasted like a real orange.
Yeah, my guess is the natural flavor they're talking about there is some kind of citric acid or something like that. Although they would have to call that out, but something acidic to try to recreate the boom of a raspberry
Well,
flavor.
the other thing about raspberries, if you eat a fresh raspberry, they're not that sweet.
No.
So if you were to just take raspberry and put it into dark chocolate,
Yeah.
you would have bitter on acidity. So you almost kind of have to perk this up with something
Yeah.
sweet.
So,
Yep.
all right, let's take a close smell.
So
All
all
right.
you smell is whatever is the raspberry.
Right, but it's a lot less in the piece of chocolate than it was sort of in the bag, contained in the bag.
But it doesn't smell like chocolate.
you can really the extra fat is causing it to melt on my fingers.
And we always see that. And we
immediately,
always
yeah.
see that. So
That's a high fat.
even if you
product.
don't look at the ingredients, if you start getting chocolate kind of melting on your hands like that, like straight out of the bag, it's probably an indication that there's added fat to it.
Yeah, so what they're calling raspberry bits are not. It's just it's like a grainy little bit of raspberry
It's not-
flavor. It's
it-
raspberry flavored sugar.
It's not good texture.
No.
And unlike that Lindt bar where they had the almond slivers, and they had whole like real orange in there, where you got that chewiness, the sort of hard chewiness of the orange
Right.
and the crunchiness of the almonds. Here you're just getting granulated sugar. It's funny that you want to set it off, or you want me to set it off?
Go ahead.
It's really funny that this bar. You can have your own opinion, but
Oh, thank you, Adam.
yeah, you don't have to agree with me, Brian.
I really appreciate you liberating
Look,
me.
unlike
Finally.
unlike Ralph Nader, who would never give an inch to these fat cats in Washington, and to the corrupt industrial complex, I will give you the leeway. So I'm just going to give my opinion.
Go ahead.
It's strange to me that this bar could be, in my opinion, so much less satisfying and so much less well done than the other bar. This is, to me, is a little bit too sweet to be called the dark chocolate. I don't like the sweetness, plus it has the milk fat in it. So technically it is more of a milk chocolate than a dark chocolate. To me, the raspberry tastes like what a raspberry candy is supposed to taste like, other than like a real raspberry. And on the tail, I actually am starting to get some of the cacao, but this has less cacao than I would like to have in it. But for me, the thing that I'm getting more than anything else really is sugar. I get a lot of sugar in this bar. To me, it's a little oversweet.
Yeah, so this is a massive swing and a miss to me. As much as we actually like their 72% no inclusion intense dark, whatever they did right on that, they did wrong trying to incorporate an inclusion here. The raspberry flavor is not raspberry-ish. It doesn't stand out. There's more astringency and it's hitting faster. The fattiness is, because it's not just cocoa butter, they added milk fat. The fattiness is not pleasing. It's that kind of rancidy feeling on your tongue. The texture is not there. There's no kind of chewy, that great chewy resistance. And like I say, they've managed to obscure what was good about the cacao and the chocolate. When what we thought in the other episode was maybe a blend using some good beans, I don't think this is a blend at all.
And as this goes on, the trailing flavor actually gets worse.
Yes.
It gets worse, and it's
got a bad mouthfeel.
It doesn't taste like cacao.
The inclusions are not pleasing either
No.
texturally or flavorfully.
Mm-hmm.
There's really no particular
it's
not raspberry.
Actually, what I'm getting on the mouthfeel is the sort of the milk fat dairy.
Yeah.
And you don't want really to have a weird dairy flavor hanging out in your mouth.
So here, the lint inclusions were the actual thing. They were actual pieces of almond, and I think there was actual orange in there. The inclusion here is not raspberry. It's raspberry flavored sugar, and it's not pleasing texturally. The flavor's not there. They've downgraded the chocolate to incorporate the inclusion because I think they thought that the inclusion would cover up anything that's wrong with the chocolate. It doesn't. What they've ended up with is not lesser chocolate that's made better by an inclusion. What they've ended up with is an inclusion that doesn't work on top of chocolate that doesn't work for an overall swing and mix.
And I think I might just be able to give you a little heuristic, a rule of thumb. Heuristic.
Heuristic?
Heuristic.
Yes.
I'm pronouncing it like a Spanish speaker.
Okay.
Heuristico.
Heuristico.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So if you buy an inclusion bar and you look on the ingredients,
yes,
and it's not the actual thing that is supposed to be the inclusion. Like if you buy an orange bar, but then you turn it over and it's like orange bits, and it's sugar and orange powder and natural flavors. That could be a leading indicator that the whole thing is just sort of mailed in.
Yeah.
Because the Lindt bar that we liked had real oranges and real almonds. It wasn't like almond flavoring.
You can also find one that just has pure raspberry oil, for example. You know what I mean?
Or something like that.
Pure raspberry extract. That would have been fine. But honestly, this is a half-assed attempt on both the chocolate and the inclusion side. Which is ironic because yesterday we really enjoyed a Ghirardelli 72% intense dark. It was intense dark.
And you made a comment because we were surprised by that Ghirardelli dark chocolate bar.
Yeah.
And you made a comment that you had a brand image of Ghirardelli as maybe something on par with Hershey's or Snickers or some of what the other brands that people would.
And that intense dark was better than that.
And it was better than that. And then I mentioned to Bryant, well, a lot of people when they think of Ghirardelli, they think of the Ghirardelli squares. And a lot of times those Ghirardelli squares are these inclusions. And they're just overly sweet, they're overly chemically, and they're low quality.
Yeah.
So I think you have maybe sort of a weird dichotomy, at least from the two bars. It's not a big sample size. With these Ghirardelli bars where the inclusions are just mailed in, but the dark chocolate that they make is still pretty decent.
So this makes me believe that we need to try a Lindt Pure Dark because the Lindt inclusions were not mailed in. That bar was fantastic.
It was really good.
And so I'm wondering if the Lindt inclusion bar is to this bar, will the Lindt Dark be to that as the Ghirardelli Dark was?
And maybe we find out that if you want to go inclusions, you go Lindt.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. If you want to get an inclusion bar, you ought to go Lindt.
Yeah.
And if you want to get just a dark chocolate bar that's good, then you could check out the Ghirardelli 72%.
Because a lot of companies specialize in certain things. There's no doubt about that. Certain companies specialize in certain things, and it may be that Lindt are the masters of inclusions, but their dark is so-so. We'll find out.
Yeah, but the irony of that would be Ghirardelli is most well known. I believe that Ghirardelli is most well known for their location in San Francisco, which is a tourist attraction, and their squares. They got all kinds of squares, but you might be some irony that the squares that they are famous for are actually their worst product, which sometimes happens with musicians. Their worst song becomes their number one hit because it's so poppy, and their best songs are the deep cuts.
Are you taking a disguised swing at Maneater over here? Because I feel like you're really trying to bash Hall & Oates by taking a swing at Maneater, bro.
You always bring up Maneater, man.
Because it's the worst song ever made. It's awful.
Hey, do you remember the song, Every Time You Go Away, You Take a Piece of Me With You? You remember that song?
Vaguely.
All right. I used to think when I was a kid that it didn't say me. I thought it said meat. So I was thinking, I don't know why man either, because they're kind of from the same era. So I thought it said, every time you go away, you take a piece of meat with you. I was like, she's taking meat with her?
She's taking meat with Is
Why?
it my meat?
Why? All right. Is it worth writing a song about? Anyhow.
That was not worth writing a song about. This bar is not worth buying or eating, in my opinion. But the Ghirardelli Intense Dark 72 actually was.
It was really good, yeah.
Can't all be home runs. Man.
And if it says something like raspberry bits, look at the ingredients and see if it's real raspberry.
That is the takeaway. I didn't look at the ingredients in the store. I didn't have my reading glasses with me. And had I looked at that and seen that, I would have known there would be raspberry inflected sugar bits, and it might have given me pause. I didn't. I'm glad I didn't though, because
Yeah,
got a
because
chance to-
we discovered something. Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right. Well, if you want to try some inclusion bars with the actual ingredients, we
Mm-hmm.
have several, and we use real ingredients pretty much across
We
the
have
board.
absolutely
Yeah.
no inclusion inflected sugar bits in anything.
Nothing. Nope.
No.
www.fortuneoutchocolate.com. If you like these reviews, please subscribe. If you're ever in the Seattle area or the Issaquah area, we work an owner shift on Saturday mornings.
Come see us.
Come meet us in person.
You
We'd
can
love
get
to see you.
you can get some of this incredible banter in person.
Oh, and let me tell you something. In person,
Ooh,
it's even
so
better.
much. It's fresh.
It's fresh, yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and you said the flex. Use the bathroom now that we're gonna sign off. And I'm
the bathroom that's over there.
All right, well let's go ahead and sign off with the computer here. I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
There's just any viewers we might have had, we just lost.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
See ya.
Bye.